Just so fascinating. I grew up feeling like I didn't have a choice in so many aspects of my life. I didn't have a choice in how I felt. I didn't have a choice in, my circumstances. I didn't have a choice in a lot of things. I just felt like growing up I didn't have a choice. And in the last year, I'm now 26, I've had so many realizations where I now recognize that I have a choice always. I always have a choice in how I see the world, in how I show up, how I choose to feel about things. And how I choose to feel about things stems from how do I choose to look at something. I can always choose to look at something differently. And when you look at something differently, you're going to feel differently about that thing you're looking at. And then we always have the ability to choose to look at things in ways that feel better for us. Most of us aren't taught that. I know I wasn't taught that. And that's why I'm sharing this with you, this beautiful, beautiful, powerful key that you get to choose. You get to choose how you look at things. You get to choose how you show up. You get to choose whether or not you're going to keep living by that pattern that was given to you when you were a kid. Or you can choose a different pattern now that is empowering, that feels good, that liberates you. We always get to choose. And just by you hearing this, it's awakening that remembrance within you. And that remembrance and that perspective is awakening a key within you. For you to remember that you always have a choice. You always get to choose how you look at something. And when you change how you look at something, how you feel about that something will change too. So may you take that with you today. That reminder that you always have a choice in how you're looking at something. You always have a choice, and you always have a choice to look at something in a different way that feels better to you. And that's the second time throughout this video there has been a fish that has just jumped up out of the water. Definitely feel some sort of symbolism with that. I'm gonna go Google it later. But yeah, there's an example. We can choose how we look at something. I could just look at that and be like, oh yeah, it's just some fish jumping out of the water. But I choose to realize that the universe is always orchestrating everything and everything's flowing in our favor. There's always a message that is trying to come through for us. I choose to see animals as spirit guides and messengers of source. They're always delivering messages to us if we're willing to look deeper. If instead of just pushing it off as, oh, that was just a fish jumping out of water, we can look at things deeper to recognize that, if I look at this differently, I'm looking at this differently, that there's symbolism behind that fish jumping out of water. To me, what just came through is the realization and the words in my mind of jumping out of the small pond was the words that came to me. By sharing this information, I'm jumping out of the small pond I've kept myself swimming in. I'm expanding in allowing myself to share, I'm jumping out of the small pond.